Pedra Branca do Amapari is one of 16 counties in the state of Amapá, in the extreme north of Brazil, 180 kilometers from the capital, Macapá. It is bordered by the Amapari, a river with bountiful waters that branch out in diverse networks of waters that feed the forest areas and the villages of the region. One of them is the William Canal, which has had in the close proximity since 2005 installations of the mining companies Pedra Branca do Amapari and ANGLO AMERICAN do Brasil, who extract gold and iron from the region, respectively. In recent years, the effects of the exploration of minerals by the two companies has been devastating for the waters of the canal, for the shoreline forest, for the agriculture and vegetational extraction practiced by the villager population, and for human life itself. The William Canal has been found to have high levels of pollution and silt, resulting in the process of buildup of sediments in the riverbed. This is not what the inhabitants of the shores of the canal were hoping for when they saw the companies arrive to extract the riches of the state. Tests were done on the William and Tabaco channels through the collection of samples by environmental technicians, coordinated by a professor at the Federal University of Pará, and it proved the turbidity and impropriety for consumption of the water, which before the action of the mining companies were clear and clean and guaranteed a plentiful life in the region. The ingestion of the water can cause serious problems to human health. Together with local residents, the technicians traveled the whole length of the channel, from the mining plant to where it flows into the Amapari River, and observed the irreparable environmental damage along the way. The environmental impact of the mining company's activities is visible and impressive. The water of the William Channel are cloudy, thick, and even reddish in some stretches, leaving thick residual layers on vegetation. Here we have the wetting of the waters of William, which is more yellow, and the Taboca, which is less yellow. There are hundreds of acai trees that died before they began to give fruit. Desolate plantations and lands, devastation of the riparian forests, because during rainy season the waters invade the forest. There are human beings under risk of sickness.
Bom, em primeiro lugar, estamos aqui representando a Secretaria de Saúde, certo?
Well, in the first place, we are here representing the Secretary of Health, right? We are health professionals, and we want to sensibilize, right? The characteristics of the river totally changed. The environment is totally different. And according to the information that we have from the representatives of the company, what they want is to try to change, to recuperate, let's say, recuperate the environment. But from our point of view, the situation here is irreversible. This small farm has plantings of cupuaçu and acai, but the residents have abandoned the area with everything that guarantees them their livelihood because of the lack of drinkable water. Here we are going to look inside here, a little hole in the riverbank. As you can observe here, there is some water trapped here. See how it is? Red here. So that is the same. And if you make a well, that water is the same. You can see it like that. So there's no way to consume that water. Even digging a well here, it's just not possible. This family lives off the harvesting of acai, but can't count on the water from the canal even to give a bath to the children, who have to enter the forest to find water that is appropriate for consumption. And these children, do they drink water from this river? Oh yeah? And this water from the river, you can't drink it? Can't you swim in it? How do you guys bathe? Mr. Zé da Luz has lived in this region for 20 years. In recent years, he has seen his plantations of bananas, pupunha, watermelon, cassava, and acai die, which represented the survival of his family. How long have you been living here, sir? It's been 20 years that we... 20 years? 20 years. It has been 20 years that you have lived here and never left here. I leave now. I live in Macapá because this there took over, and even our house there has fallen down. It has been 5 years that I don't work. 5 years that I haven't worked on a farm. Why? Because of this water. We can't bathe in it. We can't. This water, you can't bathe in it? No, there's no way. This makes us itch. And oh yeah? Yeah. And when did this water start to be like that? It has been more than 8 years, right? More than 8 years, more or less. 5 years ago, I stopped working. It had already been a long time. And is your family there? Do they live here? Yes, they live there. Only my wife always stays here with me, but my sons, my daughters abandoned everything. They lived here with me, but when it got like this, children couldn't anymore, right? Children can't swim there? No. And sometimes we are careless and jump in the water, right? I took a swim and my whole body was full of itches it looks like a group of things that like rash. But you used to swim in this river. We swam. The water was clean. Then it became colorful. What about the fish? Are there fish in there? Yeah, there are fish. There are still fish. White. And in the old days, what were the fish like? Fish were beautiful. They were, the fish. Did you eat these fish, sir? Oh, we ate them, and we would tie up 2 or 3, tie it on the bank. I doubt that you would have arrived and I didn't have the fish tied up on the... Now we haven't been able to do any more. And what do you live on now? What do you eat now? I eat, but at the fishing and kill some game around here to eat. And how do you drink water, sir? The water is from that spring. That's where I get my water now, because the water comes from the mountain. And where is the spring? It's right here. And the water comes from the spring? Comes out of the spring, from the mountain. And you aren't afraid that this water that comes from the spring is like that water in that river? It's not. That's what we have. We don't have anywhere else to go. As long as some action is not taken, whole families continue to be driven out of the region. Within a few years, when the companies close down their activities in Amapá, the devastation of the forest and of the rivers will remain as a legacy for future generations. Public Prosecutor's Office of the County of Serra do Navio, Public Prosecutor of the State of Amapá.